Ladies and gentlemen, the Provost of New York University, David W. McLaughlin.
Here now, in the presence of candidates for academic recognition, members of the faculty and administration, alumni, trustees, honored guests, and friends of New York University. The 173rd Commencement is hereby convened.
In following tradition, we now invite the alumni, faculty, and student banner bearers to join the platform party on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and join in the singing of the national anthem, led by Catherine Heaton of the Steinhardt School of Education.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of New York University, Martin Lipton.
Greetings and welcome on behalf of the Board of Trustees of New York University, and congratulations to the graduates and their families What a wonderful, wonderful day this is for you and for us. Today, the university will confer 12,000 degrees. And you will enter the ranks of the alumni, and I was going to say the working population, but I know most of you have already been part of the working population. It was 170 years ago that the founders of New York University moved from a small building downtown to just a slightly larger building right here on the east side of the square with 150 students. And today, there are 40,000 matriculated students at New York University. In a way, the university proves its motto of persevere and excel. The university has persevered and excelled just as you have persevered and excelled and now are graduating. Today, we not only honor you, our graduates, but we honor 6 people who have made an extraordinary contribution to this university, to New York City, to the world at large. And we delight in their joining with you to receive degrees today from our universities. Congratulations, and we wish you all the very, very best.
Ladies and gentlemen, member of the Board of Trustees and chair of the Committee on Alumni Affairs and University Life, H. Dale Hemmerdinger.
Congratulations, you made it! And in a matter of moments, you all will be NYU alumni. From us, the class of 1930 to the class of 2005 are the memory and the hope of our school. As is our custom, we pay tribute to past graduates of our university who, through their labors and loyalties, have enriched the life of this institution enormously. In recognizing those very special NYU graduates you saw marching into the park during the procession, all of whom are celebrating important class anniversaries this year, we begin by saluting the representative of the earliest decades attending this commencement. It gives me great pleasure to introduce George Hodes, a graduate of the School of Commerce, now known as the Leonard N. Stern School of Business, class of 1930. He is a member of a true NYU family. His daughter Robin is a graduate of the Steinhardt School, and his son-in-law, Roger Jacobs, graduated from the School of Law. But today is your special day, Mr. Hodes. On this, the 75th diamond anniversary of your graduation from NYU, will you please stand and greet your NYU family? Now, let us pay tribute to those graduates who are celebrating their special class anniversaries. These are the alumni who graduated more than 50 years ago or are members of the golden anniversary of class of 1955. Let us also salute the members of the Society of the Torch, whom we recognize for their steadfast support for this great university. Will all those alumni who have returned to their alma mater today please stand and be recognized? The alumni who celebrate with you here today, and those who you will meet, hear about, and even work with in your professional and personal lives, will serve as great inspiration to all of you. Start by joining the recent Alumni Network, a vibrant group of young alumni created to help you maintain your ties to NYU and to each other. I would like to also express special thanks to the NYU Alumni Association, so ably led by its president, Michael Rosenberg, who today celebrates his own 50th anniversary from Stern, for their many contributions to our alma mater and its exciting and valuable programs. To Stern and the alumni, thank you. I urge you all to remember this day, remember these glorious trees in this beautiful park, and stay connected to NYU. It feels wonderful. May the force be with you. Go in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Byrne, Senior Vice President for Health.
Each year, the Albert Gallatin Medal is bestowed on a graduate, honorary alumnus or alumna, or member of the university family who has made an outstanding contribution to society. I would now like to ask Trustee Kenneth Langone to escort the 2005 Albert Gallatin Medalist to the lectern. Robert M. Glickman, Dean of the School of Medicine, will present the awardee. Would Chairman Martin Lipton and President Sexton step forward for the presentation?
New York University today honors Dr. Jan T. Vilcek, eminent scientist, illustrious scholar, philanthropist, and for the past 4 decades an esteemed member of the NYU community. Dr. Vilcek is a world authority on cellular proteins that control the reactions among cells. A full professor at NYU School of Medicine since 1973, he is an inspired teacher, devoted mentor, and revered colleague, an exemplar of the NYU spirit. As head of the Cytokine Research Unit at the New York University School of Medicine, Dr. Vilcek contributed to the successful development of an antibody useful in treating certain chronic inflammatory disorders. More than 500,000 patients have been treated with Remicade, the biopharmaceutical created from this antibody. The humanitarian benefit of this breakthrough is profound, relieving the suffering in several 100,000 lives. Deeply committed to the future of scientific research at NYU, he supports research and educational programs, and his generosity has also made possible endowed fellowships for graduate students and postdoctoral fellows, ensuring that future generations of scholars and researchers will carry on the university's tradition of advancing and transforming the field of medicine. In recognition of his contributions to humankind, his philanthropic legacy, and his unwavering commitment to this institution, New York University is honored to present the Albert Gallatin Medal to Dr. Jan T. Vilcek.
Ladies and gentlemen, Deborah A. Lamorte, Senior Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations.
The Rudin Award is presented to an individual whose exemplary achievements in the public realm reflect and advance the extraordinary spirit of Louis Rudin, quintessential New Yorker, distinguished alumnus, valued trustee, and devoted friend of New York University. I would now like to ask Chairman Martin Lipton to escort the 2005 recipient of the Louis Rudin Award, Bruce Ratner, to the lectern to join President Sexton for the presentation.
Bruce Ratner, your extraordinary contributions to the city of New York have touched all who call it home. President and CEO of Forest City Ratner Companies, one of the foremost urban real estate developers in the United States, you have changed the very shape of the city in all 5 boroughs. one of New York's most influential leaders, you have helped to make this city both a powerful magnet for visitors and a grand haven for New Yorkers. Hailing from Ohio, you now have chosen Brooklyn for your love and attention, and you are playing a major role in its transformation, bringing the Nets to a new home. An inspiring teacher and mentor, you have shared your valuable experience and expertise at NYU University's School of Law and in its Real Estate Institute. Your unwavering commitment to the arts and to charitable causes in New York benefits many outstanding organizations, from the Brooklyn Academy of Music to the Museum of Jewish Heritage. For your exemplary leadership in the development of New York City real estate, your lifelong devotion to worthy causes, your tireless efforts on behalf of all New Yorkers, New York University is proud to present you with the Louis Rudin Award for exemplary service to New York City.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew S. Santarocco, Dean of the College of Arts and Science.
It is my honor to introduce to you this year's commencement student speaker, Pamela Tadros from the College of Arts and Science. Pam will today receive her Bachelor of Science degree, summa cum laude. As her dean and also as her teacher, I have come to know Pam as a brilliant and wide-ranging scholar. Elected to Phi Beta Kappa, she has already co-authored several publications in chemistry and has just accepted a fellowship to study for her PhD in the fall at Caltech. When not in the laboratory, Pam can be found reading Latin poetry, playing piano in recital, directing off-Broadway plays, or volunteering for service projects at her local church. Mr. President, guests, and especially our graduates, I present to you our commencement student speaker, Pamela Tadros.
President Sexton, Dean Santarocco, distinguished guests and honorees, trustees, faculty, alumni, family and friends, and most importantly, the New York University class of 2005. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you this morning. In a recent interview, I was asked, what was the greatest asset of NYU? The answer was simple and is literally staring me right in the face. NYU's strength lies in its people, the professors, the staff, and you, my fellow graduates, who make this place what it is. Take away the new buildings, libraries, high-tech facilities, and dorms, and you still have the vibrant, exciting NYU that we all know and love. The NYU experience is all about the individuals with whom you meet, study, volunteer, collaborate, and cross paths. Just take a minute to reflect on the incredible number of people who have crossed your path at NYU. I'm sure that in my 4 years here, I have shared an elevator, a park bench, or a subway car with many of you at some point or another. If we leave here with no other memories of our years at NYU, we should remember those people who made such significant differences in our lives during our time here. Each of us can think of someone at the university who changed our lives in some way. Maybe it was a professor, or your freshman chemistry study group, colleagues at an internship, or volunteers at a soup kitchen, just to name a few. For me, it was a professor who took a chance on an aimless Brooklyn freshman looking for direction, who showed her how to find beauty in chemistry. Some people helped us find who we are. Others made us laugh when we were down. And still others cheered us on all the way. Whether their impact was profound, or just a smile or a hello on the street, or an embrace or a hug, those interactions made a difference in our lives. And how could we not have been affected by this amazingly diverse environment? Fellow graduates, we have had the opportunity to mingle and study among the most rigorous and creative thinkers in virtually every field imaginable. In the sciences, law, education, the arts, medicine, business, dentistry, social work, public service, the humanities, and the social sciences, to name just a few. NYU is a place where professors and students work together to achieve their goals and dreams. In my own experiences in the sciences, graduate and professional students have taught me how to be an effective researcher and have passed on to me their education and talents. As an impressionable undergraduate, I think I speak for my fellow students when I say that our experiences with the graduate and professional students of NYU have given us models to emulate and look up to in our own endeavors. We may all be part of different schools at NYU, but we are all one university. Parents, families, and friends, you are the most important people in our lives, the one constant. You have always known our capabilities and talents and encouraged us to develop them and use them to the best of our ability. You are extraordinary people, and we are proud to have you by our sides every day, cheering us onward toward our dreams. Thank you for your love and support. We shall treasure it, and indeed, we will always need it. So much of my message to you, dear graduates, is echoed in the song For Good from Stephen Schwartz's Broadway musical Wicked. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You will be with me like a handprint on my heart. But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. By knowing each other and learning from one another, we have all been changed in some way for the better. New York University has etched an indelible mark on our souls that we will take with us wherever we go, but especially in using our talents for service to others. In September, I'm going to California to attend Caltech for my graduate degree in chemistry. Each of you will pursue your own dreams across the US and abroad, in universities and boardrooms, in hospitals, in courtrooms, in social centers, and in the houses of government. I know that I will take my NYU experiences with me to the West Coast and beyond. wherever our fates and talents bring each of us tomorrow, or next year, or 50 years from now, all of us, fellow graduates, shared this experience of our education at NYU. That forever binds us together. The poet Virgil, in his Aeneid, said, "Haec olim eminisse juvabit." Someday it will please us to remember these things. Let us not forget our time here or the people we have met along the way. Share your innate gifts and your education to make your own mark in the world. Treasure your NYU memories because these are extraordinary riches. Keep them close to your heart wherever you may travel in life. Be nourished by them and nourish others with them. Congratulations to the New York University class of 2005.
Ladies and gentlemen, those who are to receive honorary degrees will now be presented to President Sexton. Diane Yu, Chief of Staff and Deputy to the President, will call upon distinguished members of the university community to present and escort the honorary degree candidates. Assisting with the investiture will be Provost David W. McLaughlin.
Mr. President, I would like to introduce J. Anthony Momshin, Silver Professor, Professor of Neuroscience and Psychology, Faculty of Arts and Science, Adjunct Professor of Physiology and Neuroscience, School of Medicine, Director, Center for Neuroscience, who will present the candidate for Doctor of Science. Will Trustee Helen L. Kimmel please escort the candidate to the lectern?
Eric Richard Kandel, born in Vienna, you emigrated with your family to Brooklyn in 1939 and went on to graduate from Harvard College, majoring in history and literature. You earned your MD from New York University in 1956. After a psychiatry residency and postdoctoral training, you served on the faculty of Harvard Medical School, and in 1965 joined the New York University School of Medicine, where you formed the first research group in the country devoted explicitly to the neurobiology of behavior. In 1974, you became the founding director of Columbia University's Center for Neurobiology and Behavior, where you pursued your mapping of the fundamental machinery of the mind for over 3 decades. Your pioneering research established that changes in the strength of connections between nerve cells form the basis of 3 psychologically defined forms of learning: habituation, sensitization, and associative conditioning. You went on to demonstrate that modification of existing proteins can create short-term memories, but that gene expression, the synthesis of new proteins, is needed to turn these into long-term memories. Your work fundamentally transformed our understanding of the basic architecture of behavior and established the principles that are now widely used to relate the molecular and cellular mechanisms of the brain to the actions of organisms.
Eric Richard Kandel, Nobel Laureate, eminent neuroscientist, distinguished alumnus. You have helped explain for humankind the precious and mysterious gift of memory. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I am very pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I should now like to introduce Jane Tylis, Professor of Italian, Faculty of Arts and Science, who will present the candidate for Doctor of Humane Letters. Will Trustee Leonard A. Wilf please escort the candidate to the lectern?
Yaroslav Jan Pelikan Jr., world authority on the evolution of Christianity and medieval intellectual history, you have made Yale University your academic home since 1962, where you have inspired generations of students who revere you as a master teacher. Fluent in 9 languages, you are editor and translator of primary texts from the biblical, classical, medieval, Reformation, and modern periods, and author of more than 30 books, including the 5-volume The Christian Tradition, A History of the Development of Doctrine, widely acknowledged as the foremost history of its kind. Arguably the greatest of contemporary scholars of religion, you have received the Library of Congress's John W. Kluge Prize for Lifetime Achievement in the Human Sciences, and have delivered the Jefferson Lecture in the Humanities, the highest honor conferred by the United States government for outstanding achievement in the humanities. Wise, eloquent, and engaging, you write for both scholars and the general reader, and have offered the world an alluring guide to its bestseller in your recent title, Whose Bible Is It? And in 1992, you gave the world your magnificent insights into the ideal of the university in an epic dialogue with John Cardinal Newman.
Yaroslav Jan Pelikan, brilliant exemplar of the central aim of a university to create and impart knowledge, and astute commentator on what a university is and ought to be. You have deeply shaped our thinking about the vocation we have chosen. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I am very pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I should like to introduce Gloria Caruzzi, Carol and Milton Petrie Professor of Biology, Chair of the Department of Biology, Faculty of Arts and Science, who will present the candidate for Doctor of Science. Will Trustee Anthony Welters kindly escort the candidate to the lectern?
Shirley M. Tilghman, first as a member of the science faculty at Princeton University, then as the first woman to become its president. You are leading that great university in pace-setting directions, even as you have encouraged the teaching of science and technology to Princeton students outside of those fields. Yours is a powerful and eloquent voice in the nation on behalf of women in science. You have moved boldly and creatively to put Princeton education within the reach of every talented student, regardless of need, using the formidable assets of your university to substitute grants for loans. One of the foremost geneticists of your generation, and leader in the field of molecular biology, you have contributed significantly to the understanding of genetic imprinting in mammals. You have demonstrated how, during embryonic development, certain genes express themselves differently depending on whether they have been transmitted by the father or by the mother. A member of the National Research Council's committee that set the blueprint for the U.S. effort in the Human Genome Sequencing Project, you have also won the L'Oreal UNESCO Award for Women in Science and have received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Society for Developmental Biology.
Shirley M. Tilghman, brilliant scientist, gifted teacher, esteemed leader of a great university. Your contributions to our nation's research enterprise are profound. You are a role model for me and all who lead universities. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I am very pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Mr. President, regrettably, we must forego the privilege of presenting Louise Bourgeois with the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts. Although scheduled to join us, she is unable for reasons of health to be present. However, we are delighted to welcome her son, Alain Mathieu Bourgeois, to our commencement and ask that he relay to his mother our heartfelt best wishes. Mr. President. One second. Mr. President, I should now like to introduce Robert Storr, Rosalie Solo Professor of Modern Art at the Institute of Fine Arts, Faculty of Arts and Science, who will read the citation for the candidate for Doctor of Fine Arts.
Louise Bourgeois, one of America's most innovative and influential artists. You were born in Paris to a family of tapestry weavers, studied mathematics at the Sorbonne and art at the École des Beaux-Arts and at the Académie de la Grande Chaumière in Montparnasse. You have traversed the media of marble, wood, paint, bronze, plaster, glass, and latex to create work that is housed in the collections of the most major museums around the globe. Widely recognized as a leader of sculptural work of the last century, you have maintained throughout your enduring career an artistic connection with your childhood, famously stating that it has never lost its magic, its mystery, or its drama. Your soaring imagination is present in the creation of installations, or cells as she calls them, enclosing psychological and intellectual states which invite the viewer to create a narrative for a group of symbolic objects. A close, loyal, and generous friend of NYU's Institute of Fine Arts since the 1930s, when your husband, Robert J. Goldwater, joined its faculty, you have donated to the IFA all 6 copies of your magnificent sculpture, The Institute, the first cast of which is installed in the Institute's Great Hall.
Louise Bourgeois, celebrated sculptor, prominent contemporary artist, you have created works that unlock treasures of memory and metaphor. Even in your absence, I am pleased, by virtue of the authority vested in me, to confer upon you with our love and hope for your health, the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa. I am pleased to introduce Shirley Tilghman, who will respond on behalf of the honorary degree recipients.
Chairman Lipton, President Sexton, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow members of the great class of 2005. On behalf of today's honorary degree recipients, I would like to express my warmest thanks to New York University for the distinction you have conferred on us this morning. NYU is one of America's great research universities, and with 14 colleges and schools and tens of thousands of students from all over this country and the world, it mirrors the diversity and the energy of the great city in which we stand. Like Princeton, NYU prides itself in being a private university in the public service. And I, for one, am honored to wear your colors today. I have joined a distinguished fellowship, Louise Bourgeois, Eric Kandel, and Yaroslav Pelikan that reflects the power and the versatility of the human mind. And though we share your limelight, this is not our day, but yours, the graduates of NYU. Your degrees and certificates have been well and truly earned, and now you are embarking on a journey that the four of us have already made. Like your families, friends, and professors, we salute your achievements and wish you well. As I behold the sea of graduates who have assembled in Washington Square Park, and as I reflect on the years of work and the moments of inspiration that have led you to this point, I am struck by the ubiquity of the human appetite for knowledge. Whether this is your first degree or your third, whether your muse wears a lab coat or a pair of ballet slippers, you have aspired to explore our complex world and equip yourself to leave it better than you have found it. I hope your appetite for knowledge will never be fully satisfied, and that the lessons you have learned at NYU will serve you well when this event is no more than a distant memory. I am almost certain that you will not remember us, but that's perfectly as it should be. But I suspect that one day, some of you will stand on a stage like this, a visible reminder of the good that can be done when scholarship and creativity are placed in the service of the human family. If I have one request of you, it is to aim high and to be bold. Thank you, and congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Shirley, and thanks to all of our honorees for joining us. We applaud each of you and the works that you have done that continue to inspire us. Today, we convene with ceremony and joy to sacramentalize a moment meaningful personally for each of you and collectively for our NYU community over time. Today is a rite of passage, celebrating the latest infusion of talent, knowledge, commitment, and energy from NYU into the world. A priceless gift from this university to the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I present that gift, the class of 2005. Graduates, you and the loved ones who have sustained you set this day in traditional linear time. You see a path that has brought you here, a present, and a life's journey that is full of promise. But we who will remain here at the university to serve your successes experience this day in a different way. Even as we share your proud moment in linear time, we also feel a deep sense of the cyclical life of a university. A life which renews and rededicates itself class after class and decade after decade. On an occasion like this, we're deeply aware that we, especially those of us on the faculty, are like farmers, living in recurring seasons of generation. And that you, our students, are a large part of what brings value to our vocation and our lives. Yet today, even we must pause to focus on a particular point in time. Those early days in September 2001, which for many of you were your first days at NYU. They were wonderfully bright and exciting days until, on a fateful morning much like this, darkness descended on this city, and the phrase 9/11 took on a new meaning, a meaning ever etched in the soul of this city and of the world. I remember how you, our students, and all of NYU responded. Yes, at first we were afraid, but soon we found heart, strength, and the best in ourselves. We reached out to others and we came together to give new meaning to the phrase community. We comforted each other, we volunteered our talents, we lined up to donate blood, and we even dared to look up at the sky again in hope and not in fear. Over 3,500 of our students, many of you, were left without housing that day, and thousands of staff were stranded here by subways that could not run. Yet by nightfall, this university and its people had opened their doors and their homes, and all were housed. This square was lit that night with thousands of candles. In that sight, there was a sadness for all who had been lost, but there also was a spirit of deep determination. We would not be driven from our campus. We would not be driven from this city. We would defy the forces of hate, and we would not only rebuild the structures which had been lost, but we would conceive a confident and vibrant future here for ourselves and for those around us. I remember how our students and our neighbors gathered for vigils here in this park, around that fountain. On the second night, I remember sitting there on that south side of the fountain as one student from rural Georgia rose to speak. He said how terrified he was on that Tuesday morning, asking himself, "Why am I here?" But he went on to say as he stood in front of the arch, "Now that I have seen the spirit of my classmates, of my community of New York over these last hours, I ask, how could I be anywhere else?" So it is that thousands of you here belong not only to the class of 2005, but to the class that overcame 9/11. That distinction will mark you always. It will be an indelible part of you and the memory of the years you spent here. But those words, 9/11, also mark the unique connection between this university and this city, a connection which in profound ways has informed and shaped your education. NYU is not just another research university. At our founding, Albert Gallatin, Secretary of Treasury to Jefferson and to Madison, explicitly rejected the then prevailing notion of a university as a removed center of bucolic contemplation. Gallatin and our founders chose instead to create a university which, in their words, would be in and of the city. That revolutionary notion defines and inspires NYU even today. And by virtue of the singular city we embrace, it imbues us with special capacities and imbues us and you with a special mission. There are gifts here of intellectual, professional, and personal enrichment that are unique to what I call our locational endowment. You have tasted the fruits of that endowment as students in the university, which is in and of the matchless mosaic of culture, commerce, and community that is New York. Yes, there are other world cities, but New York is the globe's first glocal city, global and local simultaneously. Of the 202 countries at the Athens Olympics, 199 are represented in the New York City public school system by children who were born in those countries. 140 languages are spoken in New York as the first language of the people speaking them. 40% of the citizens of this city were born in other countries. No other city in the world represents the fullness of humanity, its diversity, its complexity, and its array of aspirations the way this city does. And true to Gallatin's vision, our classrooms and laboratories are not just in this city, but of it, in an array of creative centers and public and private enterprise unequaled anywhere else on earth. In many ways, those of you leaving NYU today already have experienced and participated in the world you are about to enter. You have lived in a great laboratory of humanity. As you left our buildings, you did not pass through gates or walk on grass. You touched sidewalk and the city. You entered the global village, and you have incorporated that village into your very being, and you represent the world. On each side of this stage, there are displayed the flags of the passports carried by you, our graduates. 160 flags that encircle you and represent the countries from which you come. You embrace and you reflect the world. Our university, the education it provides and the students it produces, holds a distinctive place in higher education. And you, its graduates, must see this day and yourselves in that light. As we saw on 9/11, the world has grown small. What happens anywhere on the globe is known and, more importantly, experienced everywhere, by everybody, immediately and unavoidably. The central challenge of your collective lives will be developing ways to manage in this miniaturized world of immediacy, to manage the vast richness of race, of faith, of culture, of thought, maintaining its diversity while creating community. You will be charged with creating pathways of comprehension and communication across traditional divisions, and to avoid the kind of destructive balkanization that can shred the fabric of civility on a global scale. The very concept of New York City and the life of our university stand as a rebuke to those who say that balkanization and fragmentation is inevitable. In your years here, you have lived in a community that foreshadows the best and the hope of the world to come. You have developed capacities of openness and curiosity. You have forged relationships that have forced you far beyond yourselves and far beyond the comforts and limits of your backgrounds. And you have experienced the intellectual richness and the personal growth that can come only in a university, which is the world in microcosm. As your wonderful student speaker, Pam, noted, NYU and this great place called Greenwich Village have always been as much about a spirit and a habit of mind as about a physical place. I thought of that as the procession moved through Washington Square today. As I walked, I remembered not only the days and nights around September the 11th when the arch glowed in the candlelight, but I also remembered a time 100 years ago when a group of young artists and poets gathered together one evening at the west base of the arch. They noticed there was a small door. One of the artists turned the knob, and to everyone's surprise, it was unlocked. They ascended the arch, armed with Chinese lanterns, balloons, noisemakers, and a healthy supply of food and strong drink. They conversed, they partied, and they sang through that night, as many of you will tonight. And the next morning, as dawn broke, those artists and poets issued from the top of the arch a boisterous Declaration of Independence, by which Greenwich Village seceded from the physical union of the United States to form its own state, a state of the mind. In a way, by virtue of your participation in our community and your graduation today, you are citizens of the state that was created that night, a state which now more than ever bravely looks into the face of our time and its challenges, daring us to declare both our independence and our interdependence. Such is the NYU that is part of your past, your present, and your future. We foresee your achievements, your honors, your contributions, and the difference you will make. We also recognize that sometimes there will be defeats and setbacks along the way. But either way, we hope you will carry within you the indomitable spirit that was manifest in this place on September the 11th, 2001, and the abiding commitment of NYU, that affirmative spirit of dissatisfaction, an openness, a restless quest for excellence encoded in our institutional DNA and yours. We want you to know that you're always part of this community, even when you're not physically present here. And in those inevitable moments when your spirit flags, we invite you to come home to NYU, to return to this place, to touch its ground, to sense its soul, and if you want, to get a hug. And in doing so, to recharge what it has meant to you. Know as well the importance to us, your teachers, of your returning again and again, the role you play in renewing and sustaining our spirits and vitality. You are, as I have said, the pride of our vocation. In your years here, you gave so much of mind and spirit and heart to this university, in happy times and on the hardest days. I hope we have given you an education worthy of your talents and your aspirations. Congratulations to you and your loved ones from the NYU family, the other family to which you indelibly belong. Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Steinhardt Singers will now perform a tribute to New York City and the graduates of 2005.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York.
These vagabond shoes are longing to stray and step around the heart of it. New York, New York.
I wanna wake up in the city that doesn't sleep, to find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. My little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can
I would now ask the deans of New York University to present the candidates for all degrees and certificates.
Matthew S. Santarocco, Dean of the College of Arts and Science.
President Sexton, on behalf of the College of Arts and Science, the founding school of New York University, I am honored to present to you the 2,063 members of the wonderful, magnificent, spectacular class of 2005. They have successfully completed the rigorous requirements for the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees, and their liberal arts education has equipped them to assume positions of leadership in the 21st century. I have the pleasure of introducing to you the individual who will receive his Bachelor of Arts diploma on behalf of all his fellow graduates in the college, Jonathan Salzberger.
Richard L. Revesz, Dean of the School of Law.
I salute the law school class of 2005. You are our future attorneys, judges, and leaders of tomorrow. Use your law degree to make a difference in the world. There are great things ahead for each of you. Mr. President, I have the honor to present the candidates from the law school. 456 candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor, 495 candidates for the degree of Master of Laws, and 7 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Juridical Science. Jared Wessel will receive his diploma on behalf of all candidates for the degree of Doctor of Juridical Science and for the Master of Laws. And Mr. President, I have the honor to present Nicholas Bagley, who will receive his diploma on behalf of all candidates for the Juris Doctor degree.
Robert M. Glickman, Dean of the School of Medicine. Before presenting the candidates to President Sexton, Dean Glickman will administer the oath of Hippocrates.
Will candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine please rise? In our profession, it is a tradition established more than 2,000 years ago that one admitted to its privileges shall expressly take upon himself and herself its obligation. Now therefore I call upon you to hear and swear, as we have done before you, the the oath which bears the name of Hippocrates. The language in which our predecessors first pronounced it is no longer spoken, but we have no nobler words than the most ancient in which to pass on the traditions of our calling. I shall now administer to you the Hippocratic Oath. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear by that which I hold most sacred, that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members. That I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor. That into whatsoever house I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick, to the utmost of my power, I holding myself aloof from wrong, from corruption, and from the tempting of others to vice. All right, let's go. Do it. Do it. All right, I'll go on. That I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients, and I will give no drug, perform no operation for a criminal purpose, even if solicited, far less suggested. That whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of men and women, which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep inviolably secret. These things I do promise. You do promise this. Bow your head in sign of acquiescence. And now, if you will be true to this your oath, may happiness and good repute be ever yours, the opposite if you shall prove yourself forsworn. Congratulations. Mr. President, in the presence of the prestigious academic community of our university, their fellow graduates, their parents, spouses, relatives, and friends, the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine have accepted the awesome responsibility for the health care of our fellow humans. Mr. President, the 169 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine who have completed with distinction the rigorous and demanding education and training programs of our School of Medicine stand before you. They are highly qualified to accept the responsibility of our profession. As Dean of the School of Medicine, I am happy to present these outstanding men and women, the future leaders of our profession, for conferment of their degree of Doctor of Medicine. I present Paul Landry Aronson, who will receive the diploma symbolically on behalf of all of our graduates.
Michael C. Alfano, Dean of the College of Dentistry.
Mr. President, on this day, the 60th anniversary of the fluoridation of public water supplies, I am particularly proud to present the graduates of the dental school on earth with the greatest impact on the health of society, the NYU College of Dentistry. Among their peers in dentistry, they lead the world in the expected areas of pediatrics to implants and in the unexpected areas of catastrophe preparedness and cancer detection. At this time, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science in the field of dental hygiene. These candidates are qualified to receive the degree and are represented by Ms. Yulia Kondratova, who is honored to accept her diploma on behalf of the dental hygiene class. It is now my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in dental hygiene. These candidates are recommended by the faculty to receive this degree, and I am pleased to introduce Ms. Nicole Greco, who will receive her diploma on behalf of her class. Next, I present to you Ms. Yuming Soon, who has been selected by the faculty to receive the Master of Science in Clinical Research on behalf of her class. It is my further honor to present to you the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery. These and all other degree candidates have been certified as competent by the faculty of the College of Dentistry to receive this degree. Dr. Barbara Germ is honored to accept her degree on behalf of the DDS class.
Catherine R. Stimson, Dean of the Graduate School of Arts and Science.
President Sexton, I have no significant date to report, but I do have a significant class to present to you. Great. I have the honor of presenting the class of 2005 of the Graduate School of Arts and Science, including the graduate scholars at the Courant Institute of Mathematical Sciences, the Sackler Institute of Graduate Biomedical Sciences, the Tisch School, and the Institute of Fine Arts. And there are 244 new PhDs and 1,029 new Masters of Arts, Fine Arts, and Science. And Pamela, thank you for your tribute to these wonderful teachers who were your graduate student teachers. Thank you. Led into the park by Pierre-Alexandre Sicard of the Department of French, they stand before you on the frontiers of knowledge and inquiry. They are the scholars, researchers, thinkers, and teachers of the future, and I dare to say they are the deans and university presidents of the future. You better live up to this. I present them to you with pride and with great hope. And first, for the master's degree, may I present to you Beth R. Halpern of the Department of Hebrew and Judaic Studies. And now, Mr. President, may I present to you Marcus Brian Jones of the Sackler Institute for the doctoral degree.
Mary M. Brabeck, Dean of the Steinhardt School of Education.
Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty, Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of the school that has been meeting the needs of society for 115 years, the Steinhardt School of Education, I am proud to present the graduates who will be leaders in their professions: education, nursing, music, psychology, communication, health, and art. I certify that all have met the rigorous requirements for their degrees. Receiving her degree on behalf of more than 700 candidates for the baccalaureate degree, I am pleased to present Kristen Dopowski, a communication studies major. Mr. President, receiving his degree on behalf of more than 1,700 Masters of Fine Arts, Masters of Public Health, Masters of Education, Masters of Science, Masters of Arts, and advanced degree specialists, I am proud to present Jeffrey Jacobs, who is receiving his degree in higher education. Mr. President, receiving her degree on behalf of the 118 doctoral candidates of the Steinhardt School, I am proud to present Jill V. Alberts, who is receiving her Doctor of Philosophy in School Psychology.
Sally E. Blount-Lyon, Dean of the Leonard N. School of Business, Undergraduate College.
President Sexton. They're doing good. President Sexton. Few would argue with the observation that business is the dominant social institution of our age. At the Stern School of Business, founded over 100 years ago with the undergraduate college, we educate tomorrow's business leaders, leaders who will surely shape this world. The incredibly enthusiastic graduates whom you see before you today have just completed one of the most rigorous interdisciplinary undergraduate programs in our country. And I am honored to present them to you, the Stern undergraduate class of 2005. They are represented today by our valedictorian, Christine S. George, who got a perfect 4.0 to receive her Bachelor of Science.
Thomas F. Cooley, Dean of the Leonard N. Stern School of Business.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Leonard N. Stern School of Business, the home of the world's future business leaders, visionaries who will bring prosperity and progress to their communities, to the world, and to this university, who will showcase Stern's philosophy that business is the world's dominant force for positive social change. I have the honor to present the candidates from the Stern School, numbering in all 641 dynamic, polished, impressive candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration. 9 gifted and accomplished candidates for the degree of Master of Philosophy, and 14 brilliant and innovative candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, who will shape research agendas for the coming generation. On behalf of all of the candidates for the Master's degree of Business Administration, I have the honor to present Daniel Hatola. And on behalf of the candidates for the doctoral degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I have the pleasure to present Michelle J. Anteby.
David F. Finney, Dean of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies.
Today, Mr. President, I present to you the 1,751 exceptional students of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies class of 2005. Many have completed their academic program while juggling full-time jobs and family responsibilities. They represent the future of New York's professions, its industry, and its scholarship. We are proud of each of them. SCPS this year celebrates its 70th year of continuing education as one of the largest and most comprehensive schools of its kind. The school's more than 2,500 credit and non-credit courses, which serve 45,000 students annually, focus on cutting-edge topics designed to be applicable to both an individual's personal and professional life. Today, Mr. President, we have 102 students receiving their associate degrees from SCPS. On behalf of all of our associate degree candidates, I am honored to present Darren Thunder, who will receive the Associate in Applied Science degree from the Paul McGee Division. Mr. President, this year the SCPS Baccalaureate class has 427 graduates. On behalf of all of our bachelor's degree candidates, I am honored to present to you Amy Garrett, who will receive the Bachelor of Science in Sports Management from the Preston Robert Tisch Center for Hospitality, Tourism, and Sports Management. Mr. President, SCPS is proud to announce that this year's Master of Science class has 410 graduates. On behalf of all of our Master of Science degree candidates, I am honored to present to you Stefano Ciravegna, a candidate for the Master of Science in Real Estate.
Ellen Schall, Dean of the Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service.
Mr. President, NYU proudly describes itself as a private university in the public service. I am truly honored to present to you the 2005 graduating class of the Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service. The 350 graduates emerged from the university ready to take up their roles as public service leaders and policymakers. They are passionate about public service and committed to making a difference in the world. On behalf of our master's degree candidates, I am honored to present Deborah Bay. Deborah is an outstanding exemplar of all of our master's students, whom we treasure for their intellectual rigor, the breadth of their interests, and the depth of their passions. Deborah, congratulations. On behalf of our doctoral degree candidates, I am privileged to present Hella Belage-Moore, who stands here for her colleagues committed to creating new knowledge to answer some of the world's most pressing social problems.
Suzanne England, Dean of the School of Social Work.
Congratulations, social work graduates and everyone else. I'm very proud to say that this happens to also be the 40th anniversary of the founding of Operation Head Start. Mr. President, 506 candidates from the School of Social Work will receive their degrees here today. They leave here today with a commitment to speak possibility into the lives of the most vulnerable and disenfranchised persons in our society. They will help build vital communities and will take on leadership roles to advance the ideals of a humane and just world. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Sarah L. Veiling, who will receive her diploma on behalf of the 28 candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree. Thanks for everything, Sarah. And now I have the honor to present Esther Rosario, who will receive her diploma on behalf of the 461 candidates for the Master of Social Work degree. Congratulations, Esther. Thank you. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Ruth M. Ferrero, who will receive her diploma on behalf of the 17 candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree. Thank you. Congratulations.
Mary Schmidt Campbell, Dean of the Tisch School of the Arts.
Mr. President, there they are, the visionaries. I am proud to present to you the Tisch School of the Arts class of 2005. Writers, dancers, actors, designers, photographers, filmmakers, musical theater composers, lyricists, and book writers, creators of interactive media, scholars of cinema studies and performance studies. They hold a mirror to the world. They give us a glimpse of the human heart and the human spirit. President Sexton, I am pleased to present Shauna Claire McGarry of the undergraduate division, Cambar Institute of Film and Television, who will receive the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree on behalf of the undergraduates. President Sexton, I am pleased to present Christina Inez Goodness of the Interactive Telecommunications Program, who will receive the Master of Professional Studies degree on behalf of the graduate students.
E. Francis White, Dean of the Gallatin School of Individualized Study.
President Sexton, on behalf of the school that proudly carries the name of NYU's visionary founder, Albert Gallatin, I present the 2005 graduates of the Gallatin School of Individualized Study. They have each fashioned an individualized concentration out of the best of NYU and New York City. Their pathways are too numerous and unique to enumerate here. Mr. President, I am honored to present the representative of our BA graduates, Elizabeth K. Hinton, who will accept her diploma on behalf of her classmates. Mr. President, I am further honored to present the representative of our MA graduates, Simone Fortin, playwright and actor, who will accept his diploma on behalf of his classmates.
Ladies and gentlemen, Provost David W. McLaughlin.
We now proceed to the formal conferral of degrees. In keeping with the tradition of New York University, we highlight this most important moment in our ceremony by the passing of the university torch, the symbol of learning, from a senior member of our academic community to the most junior. On stage now, holding the university torch, is Professor Shulamith Lala Strausner from the School of Social Work. As President Sexton confers the degrees, the torch will be passed to the youngest member of the graduating class, Adepeju Adeyamu, Gallatin School of Individualized Study. May I ask all of the candidates for degrees and certificates to now rise for the conferring of the degrees in course by President Sexton.
Members of the class of 2005, through your successful efforts as certified by the recommendations of your deans, you have met the requirements of your respective schools and thus deserve to receive this hallmark of New York University. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of New York University, I admit you to the degrees and to the certificates for which you have been recommended by your deans. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join in the singing of the New York University alma mater. At the conclusion of the ceremony, degree candidates are reminded to remain in their seats until the procession has left the park.